Hi, this is Rick Savitsky from Chortek. In this video, I'm going to walk through an analysis of gross profit. I'm going to show you two calculations that can be done based on your existing financial data that help better understand and visually show the impact of change in rate versus change in volume on your gross profit. Ultimately, you can use this with your team to do planning for the future and try to set targets and measure against those targets for overall improvement of the company's profitability. What I'm going to do is show you a few charts and walk you through the process and show you the calculations. This first chart is very basic. We're using Fathom to pull from the general ledger just total gross profit and the gross profit percentage, in this case by quarter. Very simple. Next chart is very similar, but one additional piece of information, which is the change in gross profit. That's the lighter blue bar near the x-axis. Now as I keep moving forward, I'm going to take things off the chart and add some additional items to help show and visualize this key change. And the reason, what we're really looking for is why was there a change in the gross profit? So I'm going to walk you through three calculations, and I'm going to do this very quickly, and you can pause it and kind of literally write it down, do the calculations manually in Excel, or ideally, again, we're using a tool called Fathom, so this is automated. We're getting the change in gross profit volume. We're doing calculations. You can see the text there that explains it. Doing the same thing for a change in the gross profit rate impact. So basic algebra and calculations, and then finally as a check figure, we're subtracting one from the other, which should equal, does equal, the gross profit change period. So we know that its calculations are all correct. Now when you chart this, it's a lot easier to understand the impact. So this is the same chart as the prior one, but I've added in olive extra bar, which shows the change in volume, and then light blue, the change in gross profit percentage. In just a second, I'm going to zoom in and we're going to look at a few time periods. But the main idea being, when we look at this over time, and even just period to period, month to month, quarter to quarter, the question is helping to answer the question, well, why did it change? So specifically here, third quarter 23, we can see that it was about an equal mix between change in drop in volume and the drop in the gross profit percentage of why gross profit total dropped so much. And we can see that because literally the bars are about the same length. Whereas, in contrast, moving to the fourth quarter, gross profit increased, but almost all of the increase was because of the change in the gross profit rate. Now, we're charting the rate on the top as well. So we see the slope is pretty strong there, but the point is having those two numbers makes it clear to us why did it change. And again, this distinction between was it roughly equal or was one reason higher than the other. When we look forward, we can see that the gross profit margin percentage is not flat, but it's getting closer, so it's stabilizing. And yet when we look at any one period, we can see again this interplay. So third quarter 24, gross profit went down significantly, and it was mostly down because of volume, but also because of the rate. So it's those two. Fourth quarter, we can see that gross profit went down even further a little bit. The rate increased, which is great, but it wasn't enough to overcome the decrease in the volume. Okay, and that's the whole point of doing the analysis. Now, let me show you how you can use this on a go-forward basis. I'm going to use the same Fathom tool that gives us a what-if analysis. So in this case here, I can switch to a goal seek. I'm going to go roughly a 10% overall increase. This is slightly different data, but it kind of illustrates the same point. And if we have a 1% increase in price, shows the overall impact of, again, how impactful percentage margin change is. If we reduce costs, so in this case the rate is split into two numbers, and notice they're not the same, of course. Mathematically there's a difference there. But it shows the difference in, well, what if you change the rate or can change the rate? Now in our previous example, rate was stabilizing. You can only increase your margin so much in most cases. And so what this shows is the impact of volume and how important volume is. In this case, a 4% increase roughly still doesn't get us to the goal, and visually we can see here that we've got to be a little over 6% to get up to that overall 10% increase. So this tool, when you discuss it with your team, your estimating team, your production team, hopefully will help spark some debate, discussions, and again, what do you do about it? You set targets and you look to measure and improve. Now, one little caveat for manufacturers specifically, check out my other videos on the importance of making sure the right things are going into cost of goods sold and avoiding the kitchen sink syndrome. Anyway, check that out separately. But finally, you may look at this and think, okay, well that's fine, but that's at the company overall. What about by division or by product line or customer mix? Well, that's part 2. So if this is helpful, please click like, share this with someone else you think might benefit, fill out our web request form or give us a ring. We'd love to talk to you. We love working with manufacturers and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Bye.